It's time to go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show on Claude. Oh, what's going on?
It's time to go!
Sorry about that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show on Claude. Oh, what's going on?
It's time to go!
Sorry about that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show on Claude. Where's that still going? Sorry about that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show on Claude. Where's that still going?
I think we need to come out.
Sorry about that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show on Claude. Where's that still going?
I think we need to come out.
Sorry about that.
What's happening, Claude?
I don't know what's happening, but I think anyway. Hello everyone. Welcome to Claude and the Banstas. There's a few technical issues, but I think
that was funny.
Anyway,
Wasn't it?
hello everyone. Welcome. No, you're echoing. There's a few. Come out.
That was funny.
Anyway,
Wasn't it?
hello everyone. Welcome. No, you're echoing. Come out. Come out a minute. Come out. I don't know what's going on tonight. It's absolute chaos. I don't know what's going on with the internet. I don't. Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome Dan to the show.
Oh, mate, that was a hell of a start. I can't stop laughing. That's cheered me up anyway. I hope you're well, Claude. And thanks for having us on, mate. Oh, mate, that was a hell of a start. I can't stop laughing. That's cheered me up anyway.
Change over computers, mate. Change over.
Oh, mate, that was a hell of a start. I can't stop laughing. That's cheered me up anyway.
Terry, come out, Terry. Come on, change over.
Oh, mate.
We're gonna have to, well, shall I end this broadcast?
No. Change. Come out, change your laptop. Get me on the phone. Sorry. Yes. I don't know what's going on here, but I think he's got a lot of problems on his. Anyway, everyone, hope you're all well. We're talking Arsenal tonight. We're talking what the latest rumours going around. Is Aubameyang staying? Is Willian coming? Is Saka going to sign a new deal? There's lots of things to talk about. I'm going to welcome my guest, Dan. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Claude. Sorry, mate, a few technical issues there clearly to start with, but it looks like we're all sorted now, hopefully. But yeah, all good, mate. Thanks for having us on again, mate. Always a pleasure to come and talk to you, boys.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, Diesel's in the chat as well. Melina, all our regulars. Tom saying it's working now. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what is happening, but we should get Terry back. Let's talk about how's your day been?
Yeah, not bad.
Are you back?
Oh, you're back,
Terry.
Sorry, mate. I don't know what was going on there.
Can you hear us, Terry?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can.
Can you hear me, Claude?
Can you hear us, Tel?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear him.
Yeah. Right. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh well. These things happen when you're live, doesn't it? Have you started, Claude, or are we starting again?
Anyway, carry on. Let's start. No. Start what the latest. What we're starting with Aubameyang or?
No, we're going to start with this man. Where are we? We're going to start with this man, boys. And obviously, it's good news in some ways, but not in others, because we don't really know what is happening yet. But Saliba, obviously, with the French League 1 and 2 being voided, that means that Saliba now doesn't have to stay in France. He can fly back to England and with Arsenal and train with Arsenal now. But I've seen a lot of different reports saying that can he play for Arsenal now, or is he still loaned out to Etienne? So what's your feelings on this, Dan?
Mate, I'm a huge fan of what I've seen of this kid, albeit not very much. I don't like to do YouTube clips and say that someone's fantastic because they'll make Mustafi look like Cannavaro if you do that. But for me, I think that this kid, from what I've seen and what I've heard, is got like lightness to a solid defender, but can also be a ball playing defender as well. So I think he's quick. I think he's an athlete. I think he's definitely going to be an improvement on what we've got at the moment, which is very poor defenders. So I'm really looking forward to this lad. And it's great business for us because we're actually going to be the only club able to definitely sign someone for next season at the moment, because this is the lad that is going to come in. So I look at Saliba and I think he's a young French defender that has been likened to Lilian Thuram. If he's half as good as him, I'll be absolutely over the moon. He was a world-class defender as far as I'm concerned. So I think he'll give us some stability, but we still need a couple more. I think defence is an issue for us as well as midfield, in defensive midfield. And I think that Saliba can definitely be an improvement on our back line. So I'm looking forward to this lad. And if he is now our player and the French league has stopped, we'll come on to a bit later. I think football is stopped now, personally. But if he can train with Arsenal, then let's get him here as soon as possible and, get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dan. What about you, Claude? Oh, Claude seems to have gone now, so we're having proper technical problems tonight. No, I mean, I'm the same as you, Dan, to be honest. I think he's I think he's going to be a fantastic player for us. Obviously, we've got to give him time, though. That's my only problem with obviously Saliba coming. He's going to take time to settle in. We just got to be patient with him. But I mean, he looks big. He looks solid. He looks like he's got a speed about him. So he's everything that we've been looking for in a defender. Everything that we ain't got at the moment, I would say. I mean, obviously we've got like strength in Socrates and that, but he's totally way better than him. What about yourself, Claude? What's your feelings on Saliba?
To be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of French league football, but he looks from what I've seen. But then you can't go on what you see on YouTube or anything like that. But he's very young. He will need, I think, a bit of experience next to him. That will be important that he has an experienced centre-half next to him. That's why I would tend to keep David Luiz next to him, although Dan doesn't agree with me. But I think it's going to be a wait-and-see job, really. How can I say? It's exciting prospect. He's an exciting prospect, but until you see him play, and if he adapts to the Premier League, what his attitude's going to be, what sort of character he is, then we won't know. Until then, we can speculate as much as we want. As for him coming early, I'm not so sure whether our season's going to get underway anyway. And also, it's a matter of if he's contracted till July over him. Even if the season's cancelled, I'm not sure whether if he's allowed to come back before the end of July anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works, because obviously we signed him, didn't we, at the beginning of last season, and he's on our books as an under 23, is he? I think we signed him as an homegrown player under 23 or 21, is it? So if we've loaned him out, then why can't we get him back off of loan if their season is voided? Do you know what I mean? It's not our fault that their season is voided if our season carries on.
Yeah, true. Would I swap Aubameyang for Sancho? But Aubameyang won't go to Dortmund. Is he at Dortmund, isn't he, at the moment, Sancho?
Yeah.
There's no way Aubameyang would go to back to Dortmund now anyway. So no. I think that deal wouldn't happen anyway. So thanks for the donation, Zane, but I don't think that deal would happen anyway.
Yeah.
Would
you do that?
I think that if Aubameyang wanted to go back to Dortmund, that would probably be a sideways move. I think Aubameyang, if he does leave Arsenal, will want to go on to greater things and look at actually winning Champions Leagues and titles. Sancho, however, if he was available 100%. But I think that he's got his eyes set on greater things other than us as well. We've got to look at what we're up against, there, boys, and be realistic that we are a mid-table club at the moment. And I don't think that we can be attracting players like Sancho at the moment. I think that we're going to have to be looking at some of the young up-and-coming players to try and see if we can get a team together to kind of build and start again, because this is a project, as far as I'm concerned, for the next 5 years, like Klopp had at Liverpool. And I think that Arteta needs to be backed in the summer, but I also don't see us attracting the players that we used to. I don't see the likes of the Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozils coming to this football club. I think we're going to have to look at some young up-and-coming players now and start to build a team from that respect around the Sakas, Martinellis and Guendouzi.
I see old Diesel's flirting in the...
Yeah, I just see that. We've got Sophie in the chat. Sophie, I hope you're good. Thanks for coming over and talking our channel.
How are you, Sophie, darling? How are you? Well, sorry about the embarrassment start of this show, but unfortunately, I don't know what's happening with the internet. Yeah, right. So where were we?
Let's move on now to some transfer rumours. Here we go. We've got it coming up. First of all, we've got the latest, and Ben Yedder. Apparently, Arsenal and Man United are both interested in signing the Monaco and France striker, 29.
No, not interested.
Not interested, Claude?
No. They can have them. Not Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder. No. So not for me. Not for me. Not for me.
I don't actually mind Ben Yedder as a player. I thought he was quite good when he was at Valencia, but I think that he's a player that I'm not looking at as replacing Aubameyang as far as I'm concerned. This is why I want to keep hold of Aubameyang. He's got there's no comparison there for me. Ben Yedder is just, he's a good player that when he was 20, he looked pretty promising. He's 29 now. I would honestly just keep hold of Lacazette and keep hold of Aubameyang as opposed to going for somebody like Ben Yedder. I really would. Or if we are going to look at somebody like that, I'd rather get somebody like Raul Jimenez from Wolves than Ben Yedder.
Well, Sophie's in the chat. Ask Sophie if she'd take him at Man United. I bet she won't.
Yeah, Sophie, let us know. Let us know if you would take him at Man United as one of your strikers. Another one they've got here, Danny Ceballos. Arsenal will have to pay Real Madrid 44 million if they want to sign the unknown Spain midfielder 23 on a permanent deal. Claude, would you pay 44 million to keep him?
I like Ceballos, but I'm not sure if he's committed to Arsenal. I'm not sure if he's got the same commitment. 44 is a lot of money for someone that needs to be fully committed. It's a lot of money for. I'm sure it can't be that much. Surely 44 million. I would have said 30 at the most.
What about yourself, Dan?
Yeah, I'm with Claude. I think 30 million, 35 million absolute tops is something that I would be interested in. But if we start to get towards 40 or 50 million, I'd rather look towards somebody like Jack Grealish, like I said in the last pod. I think somebody like that would be a better option for us. And also, I'm not so sure that Arteta fancies Ceballos. I've seen him, since he's taken over. I thought he was okay against Burnley in our first home game. But apart from that, I've not seen an outstanding performance from him. And, I think one of the later games, was it against Newcastle or one? I can't remember. It was a later game at home. I thought he looked great. But apart from that, I don't think he's been outstanding. I do like him as a footballer. I think he's technically gifted. I don't think he's a Santi Cazorla or an Aaron Ramsey, like people are saying. I think he's got the engine of Ramsey and the skill and technical ability of Cazorla, but he's at nowhere near the same level as either of them. So for me, I'd rather put the money towards a James Maddison or Jack Grealish and get somebody in there that's, I think's a lot better.
To be honest, I can't disagree with you, Dan. I totally agree with you, mate. Zane, thanks for the super chat, mate. He's put, Claude, if Arteta doesn't work, we should get an old school English coach like Graham.
He's Scottish. There ain't a coach like that about at the moment. There's not many good English coaches. No, there are, but I don't think in the George Graham mould. What else is there? Who else is there?
We got William. Arsenal have jumped ahead of Liverpool apparently in the race to sign the Chelsea winner. William on a free
No. You know what? We don't even. Yeah, okay. It might, even if he's a good squad player to have, but we don't need him, Dan. Why are we going after players we don't need? We need a holding midfielder, and we need a defender. We don't need these type of players. We seem to go for the same type of players all the time, but we don't need. We don't need William.
I think I want to see us go for a centre half and a defensive midfielder before we start looking at wingers.
And plus, if he was that good, why Chelsea would be trying to get hold of him to stay, giving him a contract to stay. So obviously they think he's past his best. So what happens? Good old Arsenal, open the door, the old retirement door open. Come to Arsenal and finish your retirement off. No. Forget it, man. Forget it.
I think with William, I think he was a great player a few seasons ago, but he's 32.
Yeah, he was.
Now.
Yeah, but not only that. It's not only that, right? If he was that good, do you think Chelsea would have let his contract go down like that? No chance.
Exactly. I totally agree. We don't need no retirement players here. We've done it with David Luiz. We've done it with
and also with that bloody Sylvester. Remember? Sorry, another one. Sorry, that's Sylvester. Another one. I don't want
to. Lichtsteiner as well.
Hey?
Cowstone.
Lichtsteiner. Last year, Lichtsteiner, he was awful, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's another one. Here's another example. Yeah, I don't know why the hell mind you, that's Artel.
We've got a great comment here from Stan. He broke my heart earlier when I read that Newcastle and Everton are both leading to race the sign to Donny van de Beek. He'd be my top pick to bring in. What do you think of that, boys?
Good player. It's Ajax, isn't it? Ajax. Yeah, that's a good player, but I don't think it's speculation. I don't think he'll go to Newcastle or Everton. If he comes, he'll go to one of the top clubs. Mind you, Newcastle have got the power now, haven't they?
I think they're going to get a lot of players in Newcastle. I think Poch is their favourite for manager. I'm worried about them in the next few years. I think they'll do what Man City had done with these oil companies. They're just absolutely billionaires, aren't they? Minted. So, but I think Van der Beek, it would just be good to be linked, have ambition to be linked with somebody like that who's done well in the Dutch league and who's part of that great Ajax side that, in my opinion, should have done a lot more that year. And I think that would have been good to be linked with him, but doesn't seem to be the way.
We've got Diesel in the house. I hope you're good, Diesel, one of our fellow Bansters. He's put apologies, guys, for this Billy idiot, blatantly a little kid who's bored, blatantly single and got nothing to do. Ignore this, YouTube people. But we just blocked him, so hopefully he's gone.
I've already blocked him. Has he come back again?
He keeps coming back as, you know what I mean, Billy.
He's changing his name. Yeah, I know.
But anyway, we're gonna make some other people in our chat, some moderators tonight. So we'll do that a little bit later on, so you can help out. Give us an hands up if you're interested in doing that, and we'll see which ones we're gonna pick. Going back to some transfer, we've got Suarez there. The fullback is keen to secure a permanent move to Arsenal despite failing to complete a single minute for the Gunners. He's joining. That sounds familiar, doesn't it, Dan?
I just don't get this.
Having said that, he was very. He had an outstanding Euros, didn't he? When for Portugal, didn't he? Did quite well for them, but.
Yeah, I don't mind the player. I don't mind the lad. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think it's a bizarre signing that the guy was never going to be fit enough to start. He's a free transfer in the summer. We paid $5 million for him to loan him when we could have just got him for nothing in the summer. We haven't even been able to play him. I just find the whole transfer a bit bizarre. But I wouldn't actually be against signing the lad on a free transfer. I think he'd be good to push Bellerin, who I think needs pushing at right back. And if the situation with Maitland-Niles is not going to be looking to progress, and his attitude is not going to change. And I don't think he's got a future at Arsenal. And I believe that Cedric Suarez can play right back and left back, which is always handy to have someone who can play on both sides. So I wouldn't actually be against him as a free transfer. And he's only 28, I think, so he's not like an old school Lichtsteiner or something like that. So Suarez for me would be okay to sign personally on a free transfer. I wouldn't be against that.
Well, to be honest, Dan, I mean, after your cult of the Arsenal squad the other day, you're going to need some players in the squad, aren't you?
I am, mate. Yeah.
I'm
Looking at signings, mate. I'm looking at the future, not what's there, that rubbish that's there at the minute.
How about yourself, Paul? What do you reckon of him?
Suarez, I think he's a good. I think he'd be a good squad player to have in the team, just as a squad player. But if he's fit, then he's. I don't want one of these King Kallstrom fucking characters coming to it.
Right, let's move on to someone that we've been linked with basically since the this lockdown's been started. It's Thomas Partey. He's saying that the Atletico Madrid star has denied his father's claims that the Gunners were in negotiation to sign him. Arsenal have opened talks with. Well, I mean, it's all ifs and buts and that. But
according to Terry on the Football Terrace yesterday, United have virtually got that deal signed and sealed. So that's another thing. But Sophie's not no longer with us in the chat. But I wonder what she thinks, because she probably knows more about it than me. But apparently, Man United were very close to agreeing a deal with him. So, but you don't know. This is agent talk, and it really it could be all agent talk.
Yeah.
To get the price up, you know what I'm saying? So,
what about you?
He would be a great addition to our squad, but I think United is a bigger pull at the moment. We've got to admit that. So, if they do come in, I think we will struggle to compete with them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be hard if I didn't realise that about Man United, but I think players would probably want to go to Manchester United over Arsenal now, just because they're probably one of the biggest and greatest clubs in the world. Unfortunately, it has to be said, and I think that they are going to always be able to attract players. I think that would be a fantastic start for our summer. I think he would be absolutely perfect and slot in perfectly. I think he's a defensive midfield and the beast in midfield, and the lack of presence we've had since Vieira that we have needed for probably 15 years now. So for me, Thomas Partey would be a great signing. I think that he would probably balance our midfield a lot more than we have seen over the last 2 or 3 seasons. But I just don't think that is going to happen anymore. I think that they're talking about us now looking at other players, because it looks like he could be either staying or going elsewhere. Likewise with Upamecano, they were talking about him pretty much going to Bayern Munich. And Upamecano and Thomas Partey, for me, were the 2 signings that I would have been excited to see us. And I think that Sol Campbell and Patrick Vieira is what we need in that side at the moment. And those 2 would have definitely replicated that. So I'll be disappointed if we don't get those 2 or players like those 2. So certainly would be interested in Partey if it was available, yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested in get your thoughts on this question. Diesel, one of our main other Bansters, he's put, I think Sancho to Man U is done. And then we've got Seamus saying, I can see Sancho going to Madrid. So what do you boys think?
I think Sancho's going to go to Man United. I really do. I think he's going to go to Man United. I think Manchester United are looking at these players now. They've got Bruno Fernandes in. I think they'll probably end up either keeping hold of Pogba or taking some money if they can't keep him happy, and then signing somebody like Jadon Sancho. They're still going to be looking at a striker. I think they're going to really Jack Grealish. They're thinking about. Claude just said Thomas Partey. They're the ones that I think have got the money that they're going to end up splashing the cash, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to, and he knows he needs to. So for me, yeah, I think Jadon Sancho is going to go to Man United.
Yeah, I think that is. I think that's one of the done deals of the summer. I think Sancho to United, that is definitely a done deal already. I can see that already going. Probably, I think that's already been wrapped up. That one actually.
I'll tell you what, if Man United get him, and with what's his name? Fernando? Is it?
Fernandes, yeah.
Fernandes and a couple of others, they'll be pushing for the league again next season without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, that's a fantastic signing if he goes. And they're
boxing clever now. They're getting the right players in now. And you've got all credit to Solskjaer there. He's starting to put his mark on. Everyone was writing him off, but maybe not a bit too early to write him off. But anyway,
Well, I said on here a couple of weeks ago or last week, didn't I? Like, I thought Man United were going to win the majority of their games if the season was to finish, because I believe that Bruno Fernandes is completely like revitalised that side, and it looks to me like they're going to go on a run with the likes of Rashford and Martial improving around him. And maybe if they were, then Pogba could be kept happy because he's a hell of a talented lad, Pogba, when he wants to be. And who knows? They could have gone on to push for the following season with the right players. So yeah, it's worrying really because it doesn't look like we're going to be doing that. That's for sure. So
just on the subject of what you just said there, Dan, with other teams now, especially who we're talking about, Newcastle.
yeah.
They've got new buyers coming in. Mike Ashley is out. And they're looking at the moment, and it looks like Pochettino is on the top of their list to be their manager. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's worrying. I was a massive fan of this lad. I thought Pochettino was brilliant at Spurs. It's the closest I've seen Spurs to come in to look like they were going to compete at the very, very top. And I think he did it on no money. I think he's a manager that is not just a manager, but he is a definite head coach, and he's a modern day manager or head coach, as they call him. I think that this guy could take Newcastle to a different level if he's given time to spend money on the right players. And I think that he did it with Tottenham without money. What can he do with money? He's going to be able to attract anybody in the world. We're talking about Newcastle here being as big and as rich as Real Madrid or Man United. We're not talking about them just being an Everton or a Arsenal. We're talking about them being huge here. So Pochettino, Cheddar's there has said Newcastle Poch is the perfect match. I think Newcastle is very, very tempting. And the reason it's tempting isn't just because of the amount of money they've now got. It's because they've got a great fan base, a fantastic stadium, and they've got history. And I think that would be a very, very tempting football club to take over. So for me, I think that we are going to be looking in the next 5 years, looking at Newcastle, saying that's another team that's leapfrogged us.
It's also the same sort of situation, right? Like when he went into Spurs, the same situation he's going into Newcastle. It's the same carry on that was with the state of the club. So when Pochettino come in, and they got the fan base there as well, and I think he's got what he does. He'll spend the money wisely. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to do something ridiculous. If he does half the job he done at Spurs, they will be back, and he'll have much more backing at Newcastle as well. So he's going to be. He could be the manager of the future there, and he could be. He really could really bring up Newcastle to challenging in the top four, top at least.
Time Bandit has said, not many teams like Newcastle can get 60,000 fans in their stadium twice a month. Even when they stand down in the lower leagues, they were still getting that amount of fans. Do you know what I mean? They've got one of the best supports as a club, and they're going to be behind the new owners, the new manager, and I'm quite terrified, to be honest, boys. You know what I mean? I really do think if we don't pull our socks up, we're going to be left behind, and we're going to be a middle side table. Let's be honest. You're going to have Man City's pulling away, Liverpool's pulling away. If United get these, Sancho and a couple of other players, you got them. You got Leicester, you got Tottenham. You know what I mean? Where does that leave us if we're not going to go out and compete? If we're just going to go out and let's be honest, and get players like William.
It's a serious concern, Tel. It is, because you look at the Cronkies now, they don't care. They're making their money and they're happy. And if they're losing a bit of money a year, where it's 20 million they lost or whatever this year, 27 million, I don't think they care. All of their businesses are just Everton's or Palace's or Brighton's in the American world. None of them win anything. They just make money. That's all they're interested in. That's why we need them out, and we need to get like this Nigerian billionaire in or somebody, Usmanov, whoever it be, to take us over, because we are going to be left behind, and we're on a wage budget of a Champions League team in a team that is nowhere near getting Europa League football at the moment. So it's worrying times, it really is. And I think that, with Chelsea being able to spend with their transfer ban being lifted, Man United we've spoken about, Tottenham with, playing catch up. We've got Newcastle now taken over, Man City and Liverpool at the top. Where does it leave us? It leaves us where we are already, which is in 8th or 9th.
Worrying time. What about you, Claude?
Worrying.
How do you feel about that?
We were talking about Pochettino.
Now, Newcastle, with their money in that, where does that leave Arsenal? You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. We're in the same position, whether it's Newcastle or any other club. You know what I'm saying? It's how can I say? Newcastle, they'll have the funds. I don't know how much he's able to spend though, because of the financial fair play as well. But what Pochettino is good at is, without spending too much, he's getting the right players in and the right with the right wage structure and everything like that. So they could be a force. They could be a force. They won't even have to spend that much money.
Well, don't forget and all, boys, is that Everton. You know, they've got good backers now and all.
Yeah, Mashiri and Usmanov, I believe, is putting some money in Everton as well.
That's not quite worked out quick for them, is it? They're still not brilliant at the moment, are they? So it's not.
Mikel's put, do you guys think Arsenal will be able to compete next year now that Saliba has signed?
No, I don't think so. Does he mean compete for the title? I don't think so. I think we'll compete for top four if we get the right signings in. I can see Liverpool and Man City being right up there. And I think that Man United may be the next best. But other than that, I don't think Arsenal have got enough with William Saliba. I think if we can get a partnership together at the back and a defensive midfield, we've definitely got enough to concrete and cement a top four challenge. But for me, no, not the title. That's a few years away yet.
What about you, Claude?
Saliba, I don't think it's going to matter. I think we need, as I said, we need a midfield, defensive midfield player. I think we need that as well. So, and it all depends whether we keep Aubameyang as well. You know, it's no good getting Saliba and then we can't score at the other end. So there's a lot of different things have to happen for us to be at least challenging for top four. To challenge for the title, there'd have to be a big clear out and quite a few coming in. So I don't think we'll be challenging for the title for a very long time.
Let me ask you this question, boys. So next season, how many players do you think we need, and what sort of players do we need to get if we're going to be challenging for that top four space? Dan?
I think we need two centre-halves. I think Saliba needs to be one that is coming in, not one that's starting every game. I think we need a defensive midfielder and a creative midfielder, and we need to keep Aubameyang. So I would say, how many is that? Is that five? Four or five players. 4 or 5 players for me.
And if you could have your pick, who would they be, Dan, quickly?
If I could pick those players, I would go for Upamecano, Thomas Partey, Jack Grealish, and I probably would go for somebody at the back like Demiral from Juventus, that absolute beast, the Turkish beast. I'd go for those 4 players, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dan, to be honest. The only one that I would have took is probably what Alex is saying here is Dunk, because he's already Premiership proven. Do you know what I mean? He can hit the ground running. There'll be no problems. He'll fit straight in. So for me, I'd go for someone like him and Grealish, because obviously, like I said, they're in the Premiership. They haven't got to settle. We haven't got to wait for them to bed in. They can hit the ground running, and that's what we need, as well as great players from other countries. What about you, Claude?
That's what I'm saying. We need someone. We need what, for the top 4 or for the
top 4?
For top 4, I think we need a good someone like Thomas Partey or Ndidi, and good, as you say, a centre half. And we need to keep Aubameyang, and we definitely need to keep Aubameyang, or else we're in trouble because we haven't got no one else. Maybe get the exchange deal with Lacazette and Partey. That might be good for us. Keep Aubameyang, get Partey in, and get someone Saliba. I think Luiz could do a job there for 1 year to ease him. I think that would be all right for top 4.
No, Claude.
And no, for top four, no. No, I don't know. I think so. And then if we got Tierney will be back, and possibly have that Suarez at right back. I think we'll be all right for top four. I think we'll be all right, but we have to keep these players. Remember that Pepe be into his second season as well, so he'll improve. He'll come on as well, so that will give us. You've got Martinelli coming through as well. I think things are looking up if we can get these 2 or 3 players in.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
To build around those, I'd be happy to build around those youngsters. I would. I'll be happy with the Tierney, Saka's,
and you've also got Smith Rowe. I think he's another one I like. I think he'll come back. Don't forget that Reece Nelson. He's another one that might develop next season as well. Yeah, there's some good young players that will develop. We've got there's Balogun in the I heard in the under 23.
Yeah,
he's looking good. So I think that's not looking too bad for at least for top 4 anyway next year. I don't know what's going to happen with this season. There's some decision coming up this week, isn't it? There's a decision coming this week on the Premier League.
Yeah, we find out. I think at the moment it's.
I'm hearing June the 6th could be a return of behind closed doors on the 6th of June.
I heard that 2 days ago, but then apparently that's changed again because I think they're saying the FA chief is saying no, it's not safe enough to do that now. So
what they might do is just bring the FA Cup, see how that goes, because there's only 4 games in there. It's quarterfinals, the FA Cup, so there's only 4 games, and that way. But we'll see. I mean, that could be a possibility that they come back with the FA Cup quarterfinals first, see how that goes, and then maybe the next week the league will start then after a week after, because then there's only 4 games to worry about, isn't there? So but we'll see.
Seeing as we've come on to that conversation, let's bring it up now and we can talk about it. And that is obviously the French league has voided their season. So Paris Saint-Germain, I think they was 12 points. Was it 12 or 14 points ahead? And they still didn't make them champions. So they just voided it. So what do you think about that, boys? Just before you do, Melina, who is one of our top people that supported us from the start. I've just made you a moderator, so you can now block people in the chat if they're being naughty in that. So, Melina, you are now a moderator. Dan, what do you think of League 1, League 2?
She's the one that gets a lot of stick on here. So yeah.
What do you think? Sorry, Dan, what do you think of League 1 obviously voiding their season, and obviously what does that mean for the Premiership, in your opinion?
Big up Melina, by the way, always watching. That's good to get her as a moderator, Tel, so well played. I think when it comes to it, this is a situation that I can see England following in, and I believe that with France and Holland cancelling their season, with Belgium announcing that Club Brugge are champions because they're 20 points ahead with 2 games left. This is all going to be England doing things right at the last minute, and the UK will do things at the last minute with lockdown, and the Premier League in England will do the same thing in lockdown as well. And I think that with the Premier League season being cancelled, we're going to see a situation here where players are now coming out and saying, my pregnant missus and my kids at home will not get coronavirus, so I'm not leaving the house. So I think we have to respect that. Footballers are human beings as well. We're being told to stay in, but they're being told to go and play behind closed doors. Rightly, they can say, no, I'm not doing it. So I don't actually believe that we can say too much about what should happen, because I think it will be what will happen. And I think the season is done. And I think football is cancelled. And I actually don't believe, and this is depressing me saying this, I don't think Claude and I and the others are going to be going to football games at the Emirates until 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's
it's depressing. It's horrible. I hate it, but I've got to be honest. I do not see it happening, mate. I really don't, boys.
Well, for all, what's this? There's what's this chat? Chadwick's come in with saying, for all three of you, who is the Arsenal player that you secretly really like, but most fans dislike?
For me, obviously, sorry, Claude. For me, the obvious one is Özil. I do really like Özil. Like I said, do you know what I mean? I think if you had the right players around him, world-class players around him, if you put him in a team like Liverpool and Man City, I think he'd be phenomenal. That is just my personal opinion, you know. And I know it implies the fan base.
I like Özil because I go from what he's given us in the past. Not for what he's done in the past. He contributed to our FA Cup wins and everything like that. But I do think his time is up. I do believe his time is up. So I think I'll agree with you on that one.
Okay, Dan.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I can't think of most of the time fans hated the Arsenal players. I was right behind them. The only two that come to mind that I would say that I think got unnecessary stick. Eboué is one of them. I thought Eboué was a great right back, but unfortunately, when Sagna signed, he then got pushed forward and things went wrong for him. He got booed off the pitch for one. But I think he was actually a bit of a fan's favourite by heart. So I would probably go with Eboué. And the other one, I know people rated him, but I know a lot of people that slated him, and I really loved him, was Jens Lehmann. I thought Jens Lehmann was absolute quality for us that unbeaten season. And because he dropped the ball a couple of times or mapped up, everyone used to give him a lot of stick. But I've got to say Jens Lehmann and Emmanuel Eboué. There's none of the others that I look at. I mean, Özil, no, definitely not. I don't like that bloke. So, I can't think of the other fans that all hated the Bentners and Chamaks of the world and the Nilsons of the world. I was right behind them, so I can't say them at all. So it's going to have to be Eboué or Jens Lehmann for me.
Why is he raging? Why is he raging?
Probably because we said Özil. Let us know, Diesel. Oh, a Roby. He's got a Roby.
I've done it to wind him up anyway, because I like winding him up.
Just going back to the question I just asked, sorry? The question I just asked, what do you think about, obviously, the French League voiding their season, and how do you think that goes for the Premiership?
Yeah, just a lot of people I think someone's come in the chat and said we will follow suit, but I'm not so sure because the Premier League is a lot more money involved than any other of these leagues. And it's not that simple. That's why we're going to be right till the death on this one, because there's too much money involved. There's a lot of millions and millions of pounds involved in this. It's not as simple as just. And a lot of lawsuits could come out as well. So I think it'll go right. The French League, yes, I think, because he doesn't think there'll be. I don't know what the situation is in France. I thought they were ahead of us, but they're not, obviously not. But he's saying that there's no possibility of sport till September. So if that's the case, I can understand why they've abandoned it all. But I think we're holding on over here in hope, more than anything, that this will get calmed down before the end of June or July. But I can't see it happening. But who knows? But how they're in the Premier League, they're in a situation here because they don't know what way to go. Because if they decide one thing, then there's going to people be jumping on them with lawsuits and everything, isn't there? So it's a hard one. It's a hard one. I don't know about how Dan feels.
Yeah, no, as I say, it is a tough one, but I really do see it now as season over. I really do. And I think that it's got to the stage where, as much as I don't want to accept it, I think it's got to happen. Safety comes first. Sport does come after that. And unfortunately, it isn't just football. Look at the other sports. The Formula One's being cancelled. I was supposed to go to the British Grand Prix with my dad in July. That's been cancelled. Wimbledon's been cancelled. The Euros has been cancelled. You're looking at the Olympics being cancelled. So now I'm sitting there thinking maybe football is done now. Maybe sport is done until 2021, and we just have to accept it.
Look, for me, boy, I totally agree with what you said earlier on, Dan, to be honest. If you look at Germany, they was looking at coming back and going on training. But if you look at their rates of the virus now, because they was on a downward scale, since they've relaxed their what do you call it?
Lockdown.
Yeah, since they've relaxed their lockdown, it's spiked back up again. So if it's spiking back up again after just 2 days of the lockdown being, lax for a couple of days, then it just shows you that we can't take our foot off the pedal with this virus, boys. So unfortunately, I agree with you, Dan. I can't see us getting back to at least September, October at the earliest football anyway. So I don't know how they're going to do it. And if France have avoided their league, who else was it? Was it Belgium? It was Belgium, wasn't it?
And Holland, yeah.
Belgium and Holland. So three countries have avoided it, and then I can't see nothing else but the Premiership going to have to do it.
The only way that the Premier League will do it, the only way the Premier League 100% will is if it comes from the government, and our government aren't going to make that decision of yet. If the government say it, this is why these countries have stopped it, because government has said it ain't happening, boys. Do what you want. It ain't happening. And we won't do that. That's what won't happen in England. Boris won't do that at that stage. And if they do it, it will come right at the end, and we won't see that decision till August, September at the latest.
This could go on for a lot longer. There'll be a lot of delay. They won't make, because it's too much. It's all about money at the end of the day.
It is.
Whether you like it or not, it comes down to money. If this was a league that had no money involved, as you could see, all the non-leagues have all cancelled it. There would be no hesitation. But because there's so much money involved, they won't do it. Not yet.
We've got a super chat coming from Chadwick. I just want to get. I wanted to ask that other question first, but we're.
Oh, go on. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Right, leave that one up. That's fine. It was basically what's your our thoughts on Saka signing a new deal?
Oh, hopefully he will, but I mean, it all depends. I don't think. I think he's settled at Arsenal. He's doing really well for his own career. If he moves somewhere else where he don't know a different environment, he might find it difficult. If I was him, I'd sign that contract now, because he's a young kid and he's still got a lot to learn. And I think he's best staying at Arsenal. I mean, a lot of players have left Arsenal in that situation, gone on thinking they could go to bigger things straight away and come unstuck. So I would advise him to stay.
Dan?
Yeah, I want Saka to sign as much as anyone else. I think he's a hell of a talent, and I think that he could grow on to be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. It's all on Arteta and the dream, isn't it? It's all on what Edu and Arteta are going to sit there and tell Saka. Do you want to be here and get top 6 football, or do you want to go and win titles potentially? Because that's how good this lad could be. So it's all on the dream and the ambition of the club, and I think that it would be absolute criminal to let this lad go. I'd be more annoyed if Saka and Martinelli left than I would Aubameyang leaving. And I honestly mean that.
The only thing with that, Dan, is he can, he's all very well going to some, but he could go to another club looking for trophy and might not even get a game.
Exactly.
If that's what he wants, I'm looking at his career, whether he wants to play football week out. That's all I'm saying. But if he goes to someone club, he might just get stuck in as on the bench for a long time. So
yeah, I agree.
At the end of the day, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. You know what I mean, a phenomenal young talent. We need to do everything in our power to keep him and get him to sign that contract. But my only reservation to that is Arsenal going to show ambition and go out in this window to get players to play with him for us to challenge.
That's another thing. I'm looking at it from the point of view that at least at Arsenal, he'll get game time to develop. Whereas if he goes elsewhere, although it might be more glamour and more chasing, will he get the record? Will his career move forward?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If he's on the bench, he might win. They might win trophies, and he'll get 2 or 3 games maybe. But is his career going forward?
Yeah.
We'll see.
The way I would say it is like the Özil situation. He might stay with us. You know what I mean? Sign a new contract for 4 or 5 years. And then what sort of caliber players are we going to buy in to help him with his career and us winning trophies? That's what I mean by ambition.
Yeah,
Saying,
but I know that there are clubs probably more ambitious than us. All I'm saying if I'm looking at it from his angle, is that if he goes to a club, although there might be more, like say he went to somewhere like Chelsea or Man United, right, and he don't get in the side, is that any good to him? Even though they're winning and they're winning every week, it's no good to his career, is it? But there's a lot of more things to consider. But anyway, that's where I stand on that.
Here from Chadwick Moffat, he said, shouldn't Özil lift the play from his teammates if he is so talented and world class? Why does he need top talent to play his best? Look at Bale. He carried Wales. What Wales is in the sea there, Chadwick. I think that was a spelling mistake. But Terry, why give him an excuse? Look, listen, I'm not giving him an excuse. It's just what I see personally. Do you know what I mean? What I see personally is a fantastic player that played international football for Germany, who's won the World Cup, who won things for Real Madrid, and then we got him to come to Arsenal. And in the early days of when Özil was at Arsenal, we had players like Sanchez, Cazorla's, you know what I mean? We had all players like that around him. But now, in the last 2 or 3 seasons, we're just getting nobodies in my eyes. We're just buying nobodies. So, you know, a player of his capability, he would be fantastic for us if we had players around him. Let's not, you know what I mean, sugarcoat it. The players that are playing around him are crap. They're crap.
Yeah.
I keep saying, if he was playing for City or or Liverpool, I'm telling you now, he would be up there with the most assists in the Premiership. I truly believe that. And if you don't believe that, then you know I can't see what you see in a player.
He divides us. I'm afraid there are people that would agree with you, Terry, but it divides opinion on that. But I do understand where you're coming from. But I do think he's that type of player that does need top players around him.
Yeah,
that's why I don't rate him. That's why I don't rate him. He can't do it.
He's a different type. He's a different type of player. What I'm trying to say, his game is only suited to players that are quality around him. So I understand, and I think there's a lot of players like him, but they don't get. But because they're in successful sides, people don't go on about it. But I know where Terry's coming from on that. I do understand.
The players around him going forward are good enough. The players behind him aren't, and I don't see Özil threading these amazing passes through, and the striker's messing it up. So I think personally, he's not putting enough of a shift in my opinion. And I think with Özil to have 2 assists in 2 seasons or 3 assists in 2 seasons, that's not it. That's not good enough for me for assist king.
But the only problem with that is, like I said, with under Emery, we didn't play attacking football. All our football was in the defence, and that's why we leaked so many goals. That's why we lost all the time, and that's why we were so bad in my eyes.
Yeah, but I don't think he's doing it now, Tel, when we're playing more attacking either.
But we've only had 10, 11 games under Arteta, haven't we? Yeah. If you know what I mean.
I think there is a lot of players like him, but because they're in successful sides, people say, "Oh, they're okay, right? They don't need to work." But because he's in a side that's not been successful, the people moan about him. What I'm trying to say is that you could, and I understand where Dan's coming from. He's saying, because he needs players around him. But I think that there's a lot of players are like that. I bet you could take a few out of the Man City team and you put him with shit, and you'll start saying, "Oh, he don't work hard enough." It's only because he's got they've got great players around him that do that job for him. It's very easy. It's very easy. If I had to work with Granit Xhaka, right, and do whatever, and Guendouzi in the midfield, I'd be anyone. It's hard. It's not.
I totally agree where you're coming from, Claude. If you take, for instance, Kevin De Bruyne from Man City and put him in this Arsenal team, how long would it take our fan base to turn on him? Because then
they'll say, "Oh, he's not doing enough. Or he's not doing enough." Yeah, because because at Man City, he's got other players that make him do all that. Do it good. it's a lot. It's a lot in people's heads that they think he don't work hard. That's the type of player he is.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know. I think Özil was doing this with Coquelin and Arteta and Flamini, and Özil was doing this with Giroud in front of him.
Dan, you'll get this will divide opinion, and even Kenny Ken, well, sometimes I totally agree with Kenny Ken, and sometimes I don't agree with Kenny Ken. But he'll be on your side on this. But I think there's a bigger picture than what we're seeing. Anyway, it'll go on. It'll divide, and that's why people are divided on him. That's why a lot of people. I've heard people saying, and I've had this argument, right? You can put the lazy thing being that he's not. He's not technical. He's not.
No,
technical.
That's wrong. He is technical. He's the most technical.
I couldn't believe I heard you. He's not technically gifted. Are you joking me?
He's the best we got. But he's the best we got. He's the most technically gifted player that we got.
And that's what I mean. People say that on my chat on my WhatsApp group that he's not technically gifted.
No,
of course, you can say anything you want about him, but one thing he is probably technically the best footballer we've got at the fucking football club.
He is. No, he is definitely the most technically gifted, 100%. I think the only one we had that was probably better was Santi Cazorla, if I'm honest, when he was there with him. And I think it's Cazorla. I think Cazorla was perfect next to Özil, and that was a season that we nearly won the league against Leicester, even though we didn't really nearly win it, but we were good enough. And he got 19 assists that year, Mesut Özil. That's the only season he's had where he's got over 10 assists, I think. I think he's had 7 for most of the others. I don't know. And I don't blame him for the amount of money he's on because that's not his fault. But I do think that it obviously contributes to why people are frustrated with him and divide opinion because Kevin De Bruyne is a totally different league, in my opinion.
Different type of players as well.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the same for me. Like I do like Lacazette. Don't get me wrong, but let's be real here. I mean, he cost us 50 million, and what does he do? He doesn't score us goals. He's a striker. A striker's supposed to score you goals. What does he do? Why don't he get all the stick like Özil get?
Yeah, I think he is starting to get stick now because he's been dreadful this year, hasn't he? He has been dreadful.
This is my only thing with it. Do you know what I mean? I can't see.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But sorry, he's had a super chat up here for ages. He said, Claude, if Jose ruins Spurs, we should give him a statue.
Listen, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, he could be right. But we don't know. Next season, we'll see how. Never write Jose off, by the way, because he can surprise you. Did you hear, Claude? Did you hear Kim Jong? Who?
He's the North Korea president. Kim Jong-un. You know, the North Korea president.
Why? Fucking.
Would you have him, Claude?
Well, our channel, if he wants to come on.
Oh God! All right, let's move on a bit here. Let's have a look at some of the other.
Please don't get me into politics. I ain't got time for any of them. No more.
Let's have a look at some of other transfer news around the thing. Watford have signed their first player. What do you think of that, Dan?
I think that's a hell of a signing. I wanted him. I actually wanted this lad. No joke, for Arsenal. I thought he looked really, really promising as a young France. I think some of the young French players coming through are outstanding. You know, I've got a lad who's born as a Parisian, born in France, and he absolutely raves about how good some of the players are coming through, and he gets frustrated with Deschamps for picking Sissoko and Giroud still because they've got so much talent coming through. This lad looked like an absolute beast. He looks like a Yaya Toure figure. It's just the sort of signing that we need. And Watford have done a couple of these signings now where I've been quite jealous of them. You know, I think they've got the Core who I rate. They've now got Partey. They've got some great players going forward, like Sarr. I think he's a good player. So Watford have actually got putting together quite a decent side here. I just hope if they can get this over the line, then perhaps we could go for one of their players, and Doucouré could come to Arsenal, because I've always rated Doucouré as a more of a box-to-box player, but I think he would balance on midfield quite well in transition. So I'll be more than willing to look into that possibility. So maybe they're looking at one of those midfielders leaving, because I think Gay is definitely going to be a player that starts. He looks good enough. I mean, I know he's come from League Two, but hell of a signing for me. Great signing.
Yeah. You, Claude?
Sorry, I didn't get it because you look cut out there. Sorry, go again with that.
Pape, is it Guy? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Gay. It's actually Gay, like Garner Gay from Everton.
Yeah. So Watford have done their first signing, and they've brought him.
Where's he from?
Le Havre in France.
You know what? I ain't got. Dan, I have not got a clue about this guy. I don't know nothing about him. I do not. The only thing I know about French is the French stick I get in.
So I believe this player to be a good player. I think there's a lot of actual youngsters coming through in France. Ibrahim Sangari.
I don't watch French football. I mean, I know that, and this is why I only watch glimpses of Saliba and all this things like that.
We've got a super chat here from Zane. He said, Claude, if we lose Uber, would you get Troy Deeney?
Oh, Jesus.
If we what?
If we lost Uber, would you get Troy Deeney?
Yeah, I don't mind Troy. I'll get on with Troy. We're mates, man. We're good mates, man. I like Troy. But whether now, being honest with you, he's actually, I think he is his son is an big Arsenal fan, so he probably would come over, but I don't think Arsenal will go for him. I'm not. So who's suggesting Troy Deeney? Where's that come from?
It was a super chat from Zane.
Oh no, Zane, you're on a wind up today, aren't you?
So, what do you think of this rumor that is it Werner, Timo Werner
This boy is a good player, man. This is a top player, mate. But do Liverpool really need him? I wonder.
Does that mean they're going to sell someone if they get him?
Yeah. Someone's going out the door because I can't see them buying him. Because someone.
I think this is an interesting one for me because Firmino plays such an important, vital role in that front three that I can't see that front three being broken up. But do I see them going to more of a Bobby Firmino playing behind Timo Werner or Timo Werner playing behind Firmino?
Great player. Love this player, man. Love him.
I think he's a great player. I think
now there's a player. If we're going to lose Aubameyang,
there you go.
Now then, if we bought him, then Aubameyang can go.
Yeah. I agree.
This is a top player.
I totally agree with you boys.
Hey?
I totally agree with you boys. I think he's a fantastic player. But the only problem is, like I've been saying,
everything. He's got quick feet. He's brilliant football. Brilliant player.
We need someone that's going to hit the ground running if we lose Uber. In my eyes, that's my only problem. Do you know what I mean? It could take him a little while to settle in, and can we wait that long if no one else in our squad is scoring goals?
Well,
got a super here from Jibs. He's put Claude Deeney comes. Could you imagine Ty's reaction?
Oh, he'd be happy. Ty would be happy. Loves him. Ty loves him. Ty loves him. Yeah.
Stand the man here.
He had a go at. There was a thing. Troy Deeney had a go at Ty about Ty with a couple of fans, and he said that Ty he had a right go at him. So he's not, and Ty was really fuming about it. So no, I don't think Ty will be happy about that. No, sorry, go on. Sorry, mate.
That's right, mate. We've got Stan the man in the house. Hope you're good, Stan. He's put Liverpool trying to bring in Mbappe. What do you think of that?
Oh, if they get in, mate. It's one. If he said to me now,
they don't need him, and they ain't got the money to throw it on players they don't need. I don't think Liverpool will that.
I don't think
Reckless.
they will, but what I think when it comes to it, I think if I was to say to me now,
Great.
you
Top
can
player,
sign
but
one player, you can sign one player who do you want, I'd go for Kylian Mbappe ahead of Ronaldo or Messi, and they're my the two best ever I've seen. This kid, I think, could be better than Thierry Henry. I think he's that good. I think this lad, it looks like he's better than Henry was at his age now, definitely. You look at what he did at Arsenal 23, Thierry Henry, when he come and signed. And Kylian Mbappe was doing it at 17 at Monaco, and he's only 19, I think he is, or 20, and he's at PSG banging them in. And I know it's an easy league and all that, but he's doing it at international level. The amount of goals, if you look at what he scored, goal ratio now, it's better than anyone's I've ever seen at that age. So I think this kid could be fantastic. But I'm not sure that he'll go to Liverpool. I think if he was to move from PSG, it would be somebody like Real Madrid, and he'd be the number 9 there for years, or Barcelona, because I think he could be at top level. I really do.
That was another one that got away under Arsene Wenger, wasn't it?
Apparently so. Apparently we were close to
I don't.
never think we were going to get him.
I think that I can't believe we was even close, mate. To be honest with you.
Zane said, "Get Ian Wright and Kevin Campbell out of retirement. What a strike for!" Listen, I'll take them at the moment.
Yeah,
Ian Wright was my favourite ever player, top favourite ever player for Arsenal, without doubt. Ian Wright, and Kevin Campbell, met him a few times and spoke to him on podcast a few times. Lovely man, and a great striker. Very underrated as well.
lovely guys. Two very nice guys. When you get to know them, they're really two lovely guys. Campbell was very done a lot for Arsenal in the Championship in the 1991 season. Also in the cup runs that we had. So both great servants for Arsenal. Vegas Gooner. What's this now, guys? How much can we realistically shave off the wage bill this next transfer? And how many of these average players can we sell off? Well, we had this the other day, didn't we? On the buy or sell. If you go back to our buy or sell, it's still up there. I mean, the buy and sell video. We done that, didn't we, the other day?
Yeah.
And you look at Dan.
Dan Potts had 50%. You know what I mean? So
I'd have him off, mate. I'd have him
I
gone.
wasn't as harsh as Dan, but Dan was very harsh. He was like, sell. When it, Dan, sell.
Mate, gotta get rid of these players. They're not good enough. Seen enough of them, mate. Seen enough of them. Done with them. Another generation, please. Get another load of people.
Yeah, come on, smash the likes if you want me. Otherwise, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go under if the likes don't skip. Keep smashing the likes if you want to keep this channel alive. Yeah, that's well said, Melina. Well said.
And don't forget to subscribe and all. And hit the bell button so that you get notifications when we're coming on. Talking about coming on, we've got a show tomorrow night, and we've got two fantastic guests coming on. One of them, hold up, let me just get it up. The first one, we've got an Arsenal v Tottenham podcast tomorrow night, and we have got this man. We've got Anthony Costa from Blue, who one of our guests, who's a big Tottenham fan. He's coming on tomorrow night, and we've also got where is it? We have also got this man, Danny Bear, Stephen Bear's brother, coming on, who's a big Tottenham family. They're both coming on tomorrow night at 6:30. So we're going to have an Arsenal v Tottenham podcast. We're going to have a bit of rivalry. We're going to see who the best team in London is, which we already know that is anyway. Would like everyone get involved, give us some questions to them. You can have a little sing-song with Anthony if you want, a bit of Blue, you know what I mean? And we go from there. But it's going to be a great podcast. Obviously, Arsenal's going to win.
What time's that? 6:30, isn't it?
6:30 tomorrow, yeah. Zane says, Claude, will you get expressions on?
Unfortunately, the expressions is very busy, man. He can't make it because anything after 5 he can't make. So unfortunately, we can't get him on. But we will get him on in the future. But apparently, because it's after 5 o'clock, he has his own, and he's got his own channel as well to sort out and everything like that. And so but I am trying to get him and Troops on one night together, so that should be fun.
That'd be very funny. Anthony Costa's a very funny guy. He's up for a lot of banter, and so is Danny Bear. It should be a good laugh tomorrow.
Hey?
It should be a great laugh tomorrow, and all Claude.
Yeah, that'd be good. It should be good, and I'm really looking forward to it. 6:30 tomorrow night. Jesus, are we already? Is it already Wednesday already?
Yes, Wednesday. It's going so quick nowadays.
Yeah. I can't believe how quick it's going, man.
Right, let's just before. I mean, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes now. So just before we wrap up, guys, just give us your thoughts and feeling on the lockdown and how you're coping still, and what do you think of how the government are doing in this lockdown, Dan?
Well, we've got to stick by the rules and we've got to keep it going. Germany have released some of their lockdown, and unfortunately the numbers are going up again. So it proves that it does work if you stay at home. Menina, you're welcome, and thank you for tuning in again. More than happy to come on here, and thank you for the compliment, darling. Really appreciate that. I think that for me, football to me is half of my life. I love doing podcasts. I love getting involved with you boys. I love talking about football, and I love talking about Arsenal because they're my love. They frustrate the hell out of me. But without me doing it, it's 80% of my life that I'm losing at the moment, because 80% of my life is Arsenal and football, family and friends. And at the moment, it's very frustrating because all three of them will come out of my life. So I can't wait for it to get back. But I must say that podcasts are helping. Listening to podcasts and presenting on podcasts is really helping. I've completed Netflix just about now. I've got myself into a situation where
I'm on series 7 of Waterloo Road, so I never watched this thing before.
You're still watching that, are you?
No, I'm on series 7 now. I've never watched it in my life. I remember my mum when she was alive, my dear mum when she was alive, she used to love it. I used to think, what are they watching? Now I'm watching it. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I haven't seen it.
So it's one of those situations where you just got to keep yourself busy and keep yourself safe, guys, and keep talking. And, it's important that we talk to each other at this time. It's important that we keep each other safe. And I want to say thank you to you boys for letting me come on here a few times, because it's been great. I really enjoyed speaking to you boys. It's been great.
We're great having you, mate, to be honest. You know what I mean? And thank you for keep coming on. We're enjoying you.
Thanks, mate.
The actual government, do you think they're doing the right thing at the moment? Are they doing it right?
Oh, by the way, while we're at it, congratulations to Boris.
Oh, yes.
A newborn arrival. Congratulations, Boris. Yeah, congratulations. That's nice. Some good news to come out of this what you call it?
Situation,
yeah. So some good news, and Boris is I don't know if it's they've given it a name. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But it's nice. It's a nice thing that they've a new arrival to the Prime Minister. That's really nice. That's the first unmarried couple apparently in the house in Prime Minister that's not been married. First unmarried couple. Did you know that?
No.
No.
Yeah. There we go.
Annie McGregor has put us construction workers shouldn't be working ridiculous going in.
Well, I do agree, because they're all. How's that allowed? Because they're all. Surely they can't all be 2 meters apart, can they? They're all working together.
Unfortunately, you know what I mean, with the government saying that you should be 2 meters apart, you can't be sometimes on a building site. You've got every stuff to carry. Well, it's just money, like you said, Claude. It is. It's all about money at the end of the day. And I'm fed up with hearing about it, to be honest. Money.
Forget the rules when it comes to money, my friend. Forget the rules.
Exactly. I'm fed up of watching these meetings they have at 5 o'clock, giving us this information. And, you know what I mean, they talk 2 minutes about the lives that are lost. And an hour talking about, you know what I mean, when we come out of it, how we're going to look and all that rubbish. I mean, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. They need to. For me, I like Boris, but they need to pull their socks up now.
You're getting a lot of compliments tonight, Dan. By the way, you're getting a lot of compliments.
He's getting a lot of compliments.
Yeah, Potsy knows his stuff, and he's a top bloke. Great addition to the channel, says Diesel. There's people saying, "What a good addition you are to the channel." So, I think what we might do is we might nick you from same old Arsenal. What do you reckon?
Yeah, mate, I'll always come on, you know I will. Someone asked earlier about same old Arsenal, and we're going to
do some tapping up here. So we tap him up.
Well, it's ain't it the transfer window time?
Free transfer
window time.
I'll always help you boys out. Always come on, more than happy to. Same old Arsenal will be back. We're going to try and do another quiz and get Claude on again.
Where was he Monday? That Judges, was he not about again?
No, he's not been about. He's down and depressed. His lead Judges at the moment without football. Bless him.
You know why? Because that white hair's coming out, so he can't.
That's what it is, mate. That's what it is.
He don't want to show it, does he?
I'm gonna do another quiz and get you on again, Claude, to beat him again.
No, so. You know what? I might not come on again because on the quiz anymore, but I'll come on another show because I don't like. Someone was accusing me on cheating the other night. I'm not happy about it.
Well, you have to come on and prove that you weren't, mate.
No, but I'm not happy. I don't feel comfortable if people keep accusing me of cheating. Who was it? I could hear him. That someone said, "Steward's inquiry." It was a steward's inquiry. Who was it? Was it that? No, Danny. I think Danny. He said it, isn't it? Danny. And I like Danny.
From Burkamp Wonderland, you mean, Danny? Yeah. Thank you for all the compliments in the chat. Much appreciated. Compliments in the chat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh well, they know people that know their stuff. You know, unlike another channel who waffle on about shit. But anyway, anyway.
Yeah, I think we should wrap up now. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you, Dan, so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, mate.
Thank you, Tel. Always a pleasure, mate. Claude, absolute legend, mate. Thanks for having me on again, mate.
No, I'm always happy, and Dan, you're always welcome. You know, you come on at late notice all the time. You're brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we really
enjoyed it, boys.
I want to thank everyone in the comments.
I'm going to be tapping you up very soon. I'll talk to your agent. Don't worry, have you got an agent?
Not yet, mate. Not yet.
Chadwick Moffitt's just put in a super chat quickly. He's put, Claude, how many win bottles down?
I'll show him. Hold on, stay there a minute. Stay there. Hold on. 1, 2.
He's still going.
Bloody hell. It's like, how many green bottles can you hang on the wall here, isn't it?
There we go. That's the last 5 days. Yeah. I've still got to put my in the bottle bank. Yeah, look at that. Look. There you go.
Brilliant.
You should hang them up on your wall. When you've got a green screen there.
Hey?
You should hang them up on your wall. You've got a green screen with them green bottles.
Well, exactly. Otherwise, I've got to have something here. Otherwise, I'll go mad.
No, I understand that, mate. I understand that.
Don't blame me, mate. Might as well. What else is there to do? Eat and drink, and keep me merry.
Exactly.
What can you do? Anyway, there we go. And
yeah. So anyway, thanks everyone in the chat. We really appreciate it. Please hit the like button. And
by the way, they're only because my mate gets them on that Tesco's free meal, £3. They're £3 a bottle in that what do you call it? What is it? The free meal deals. That's the Tesco meal deals.
Wow, and they're only £3 a bottle.
And he don't drink wine, so he don't. It's a tenner. What it is, a tenner for a meal, a dessert, and a wine, and the bottle of wine comes to about £3, really. So he gives it to me. £3 a bottle of wine. It's not bad, is it?
Bloody
Bad
good.
at all, mate. Ain't bad at all. Right, so yeah, everyone, thanks everyone in the comments. We really appreciate it. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button also, and hit the notification bell, because then you get notification straight away when we advertise a show. Tomorrow we're back at 6:30 for the Arsenal v Tottenham podcast. We've got Danny Bear, Stephen Bear's brother, and we've got Anthony Costa from Blue. It's going to be a great laugh. Obviously, Arsenal will always win, no matter what. So join us. Come and have a laugh, have a chat.
Another one come in. Oh, another one to pay the bills before we go.
He's put
again.
We should hit the strip clubs and bring Ty.
Ty won't go to strip club, but I'll definitely come with you, Zane. Don't worry, mate.
You can have his. You can have his bit and all. You can have Ty's bit and all.
Oh yeah. Yes, please. Yeah. He doesn't believe in all that, Ty. He doesn't believe in it. He don't drink. He don't smoke, and he doesn't. Anyway, never mind. Let's go. That's it.
We'll see everyone tomorrow, and it's down to you, Claude, to finish us off.
Right, it's time to go.
Thanks, everyone. See you
Keep
tomorrow.
safe, people. Keep safe.